Sorry, Mr. Khan.
Is there an update this tonight or
No,
no?
I just need to ask the sixth graders one quick question. For the scholastic goal, you were given the permission slips. You need to get those permission slips into me by tomorrow. So Mrs. Lutz and Mrs. Miller and I can start making arrangements for our first meeting and for training of the scholastic goal. Okay?
I'm so excited for this Scholastic Bowl. What a great opportunity. The little subheading there under fractions is adding and subtracting, by the way. You have this already, don't you? Yes, Mr. Hahn, we do. Thank you for being so straightforward. What was the first thing you do when you add or subtract fractions, just as a quick review, Zach Roth? What did you say?
Right, down.
Thank you very much. Now here is your, for example, 1/2 minus 1/6. So that's written sideways. You definitely need to write it up and down 1/2 minus 1/6. If you're looking at your notes under this, because we've already done this, step number two is to do what? Is there step 2? Is anybody looking at their own notes? All right, I'll just tell it to you. Anybody know what step number 2 is? In order to add or subtract fractions, you must have what we call common denominators. In other words, the bottom numbers must be the same. Bottom must be the same. Which means as I look at this little fraction right here, as I look at these fractions here, I can't just take 1 minus 1 and 6 minus 2. It doesn't work that way. The answer is not 1/4. It's not any of those. I need the bottoms to be the same. Now, how do I make the bottoms the same? Is that wrong? Have we done this before? Zach, take your wildest guess.
That you see how we halves are in 6, but
Yeah, no, I can already tell this isn't going there. Now you could, by the way, you could draw pictures here. Okay? If you think about a circle here, and you only have half a circle, right? I could erase this. By the way, you don't have to write this down. And from that, I am taking, well, I'd have to cut this into 6. I'm taking 1/6 of that away. So that'll give me just a 1/6. If I take that little piece away from that piece, what's left? Anybody? What would be left? Now here's another reason why that doesn't work. See, if I would have started off having this piece in 6, a half is the same thing as how many 6? 3/6. So now if I have 3/6 and I subtract 1/6, I know what I get for an answer, which is 2/6, or 1/3. But we don't have to draw pictures, Zach, so I'm sure that's where he was going here. In order to do that, what you need to understand is you need to make equal fractions that have the least common multiples of the denominators. Which means this. I'm going to get rid of all this gobbledygook that I do not need. You can always draw pictures, but that gets kind of goofy here. Here is the basic gist of what you're doing. You're looking at the two bottom numbers. You have a 6 and a 2 for your bottom number. What is the smallest number, or what is the smallest common multiple that they have? Not what number that goes into it, which is greatest common factor, but the smallest number they both go into. In other words here, and you don't have to do this, but think about this. If you do multiples of 2 and multiples of 6, multiples of 2 are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Multiples of 6 are 6, 12, 18. What's the smallest one they have in common? Olivia?
6.
6. So you need to write an equal fraction that has a 6 on the bottom for each of those. And then, how do I make equal fractions? I think we've done this. Haven't we done this? Have we done this? What do you multiply 2 by to get 6?
3.
Whatever you multiply the bottom by, you multiply the top by. 2 times 3 is 6, so 1 times 3 is 3. 3 6 is the same thing as 1/2. This one's pretty easy because it stays the same, so you multiply by 1, you multiply by 1, and then you end up with 1/6 from 3 6, which is 2 6. So there was where step number 3 was 2. You keep the bottom the same. Bottom same, and add or subtract the tops. Does that make any sense? And step 4 is always what we call simplify, which is the same thing as reducing. I can't leave 2 6 because what number goes into those? You can cut them both in half and end up with 1/3. So when you do subtracting of fractions, this is kind of what I need to see, this part right here. You don't have to do the whole multiple kind of thing. Have we done something that seems like that before?
Yeah.
3/4 plus 1/8. What would be what we say the common denominator of 4 and 8? What is the least common multiple of 4 and 8? What is the smallest number that both 4 and 8 will go into, Connor?
8.
8. So you write equals and you put 8s on the bottom. How do you go from 4 to 8? You multiply by 2. Multiply the top by 2, you get 6 8s. This stays the same, so it's multiplying by 1. 6 8s minus 1 8. It's a tough one. Chase.
5 8.
5 8s. You say another one, please.
Another one.
I beg of you. I literally beg of you. 5 8s minus 1/4. Which would be your common denominator? Smallest thing that both 4 and 8 go into? Brian Diedrich.
8.
Very good. So you write your 8s down there. You do the whole arrow thing, and I do need to see those arrows, at least for now. 8 times 1, 8 times 5 times 1. 4 times 2. 1 times 2 is 2. And what is 5 8s minus 2 8s? But 3 8s. Now let me give you one for you to try. What about 3/4 minus 3 8s? I'll let you do that all by your 6th grade self. 3/4 minus 3 8s. 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 Looks like most of you have somewhat of a handle there. What's the common denominator? How many? 8 and 8. This is 3, 8 times 2. 6 eighths minus 3 eighths is?
Another one, please.
No, no more. Stop while you're ahead of that, Ross. Stop.